Hey guys, Caleb here with DSLR Video Shooter, and today we're doing a shootout of 4 different 5-inch monitors to see which one's going to be best for your camera and shooting video. Some of these monitors I've done a video on in the past, so make sure you check the description and the little cards around the screen to see those if you want to learn more about each of them. And I'm doing this video because so much has changed when it comes to smaller monitors. It seems like a new one's coming out of China every 5 minutes. So these are 4 of the current best options, in my opinion, from several different brands. Before we jump in, I just want to let you know that each one of these monitors will be linked to in the description. Those will be affiliated links, so if you click on them and purchase through them, I will get a small commission, which is pretty sweet, and I appreciate that if you guys use those. Otherwise, no sweat. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and commence and jump into our battle between these 4 great monitors. Our first monitor is the legendary SmallHD Focus. I have it right back there, and this thing is incredible. It's $500. It has a resolution of 1280 by 720 and a brightness of 800 nits, which is actually really bright for a monitor. It's going to work great outdoors. This monitor really stands above the rest when it comes to the UI, the actual OS, if you will. When you open this thing up and turn on the focus and start going through menus and whatnot, it's beautiful and it works so seamlessly. There's a massive difference compared to these other monitors that we'll be looking at. One of my favorite features with this, obviously, there is a touch screen so you can pinch to focus. You can power your camera, which is amazing, and it has an auto flip feature if you want to go into selfie mode. But the big thing is, again, that OS. You can actually create profiles or scenes or pages, if you will, of different settings. You can have your main page that has all this stuff on it, assist features and whatnot, and then one that's completely clean just for checking your framing. If you do anamorphic, you could have another one that's just customized for anamorphic. It's really, really powerful. Now, it does have a lower resolution than all the rest of these monitors here, so if you're sensitive to that resolution thing, then these other options will be good, but it's just built really well. It's engineered well, and that's why it's a favorite amongst shooters. So if you want to see all the assist features rather than rattle them all off, I'm just going to show it to you real quick and you can pause the video. Did I mention it's got LUTS? People love LUTS, and this thing can use them. Next up, we have the Sokani 5-inch monitor. This thing comes in at $300, so a little more affordable than the SmallHD. It sits at 5 inches flat, has a resolution of 1920 by 1080, so full HD, and a brightness of 450 nits, so not quite as good as the 800 brightness coming off that SmallHD Focus. What's great about this monitor is it has very similar touch capabilities to the SmallHD Focus. So you're missing things like being able to charge or power your camera off of the monitor like the Focus. It doesn't have an auto flip, but you can pinch to zoom, and it also has a really slick system for creating custom functions, of which it has many. Again, I'll go ahead and pause here so you can read them. And it's running a slightly different OS. A lot of these monitors pretty much use the exact same system, which is a little dated looking. This one's a little better, not quite as good, and not even close to as good as the SmallHD Focus, but we're saving some coin compared to the Focus, and we're also gaining a couple of features like HDMI in and out. And the build quality on this isn't too terrible. It is plastic and kind of rubbery, but it does fare better than one of the other monitors we'll be talking about. So this one, essentially, you're getting the touch, you're getting a higher resolution, which is really nice, HDMI in and out, and I just really enjoy the form factor of this monitor. It also comes with some nice accessories if you buy it on Amazon, so not a bad offering from Sokani. Our next monitor is going to be the Feelworld F570. This is a 5.7-inch monitor. It comes in at $200 with a resolution of 1920 by 1080, and for nits or brightness, we're looking at 450. So very similar, a little larger, which is kind of nice. And the pros to this one is the initial build quality. It is a fully metal monitor with a couple plastic parts. The battery mount on the back is plastic, but it's actually works really well. It has a little button release to release your battery. And then for some reason, they put a plastic mount underneath it that houses a brass metal 1/4-20 thread. Why they did that, I have no idea. But this monitor is very sharp, really nicely made, and what I love is the bezels are real thin. It's just tiny, but still heavy duty with that metal build. This is one of the sharpest monitors with that full HD at a larger size, so 5.7 inches is a really nice kind of range. We're still within that 5-inch size, but we're taking more advantage of that full HD resolution. This is great for checking your focus, and the assist features are also good on this one. I'll go ahead and pause so you can take a quick look. And it also has HDMI in and out, all for $200, which I would have killed for back in the day. Cons on this one, it's similar and a little more expensive to our next monitor. The mount on the bottom isn't necessarily as strong, and it's just kind of a plain Jane monitor. HDMI in and out, fully metal, gonna get the job done. Our last monitor is the Andycine A6, or also known as the Feelworld F6, so kind of different branding, pretty much the same monitor. I've done a review on this already, so you can watch that in its full length, but essentially it's a $189 5.7-inch full HD monitor with 460 nit for brightness. What this thing is essentially a super cheap knockoff of the SmallHD Focus. So we're saving a ton of coin, going from $500 down to $180, but of course you're gonna miss some things. The build quality is not fantastic. It has the bracket to flip the monitor, which is really nice, but it doesn't have auto flipping capabilities, which isn't a big deal. Like I talked about in the review, you can program a button on the top where you can quickly change that. And just like the SmallHD Focus, you can power your camera from the monitor using really cheap $20 dummy batteries. So it's a good compromise, but it definitely suffers in the build quality department. But as a panel, it's not too bad. It's decently bright. Again, not even close to the SmallHD Focus for brightness, but it is 5.7 inches at full HD instead of the lower resolution Focus from SmallHD, and OS is all right. Still has some good assist features, which we can check out right here. So a decent budget option, and again, so many options on this under $200 range when it comes to these monitors. It's crazy. So those are all of the monitors. Here's kind of my final thoughts and recommendations for each of them. Starting with the SmallHD Focus. It is one of the best monitors available right now. I love the operating system. That's where it's really powerful. You have tons of assist features, really professional ones that you can rarely find under $1,000, and it's in this $500 monitor. It powers your camera. It's built well. It has auto flip. It has a touchscreen for pinching, and one of the biggest things is that you can create custom profiles and quickly switch between a screen that has a ton of assist features on it, a screen that's super clean, an anamorphic screen. There's just so many different ways to customize it. And then each of those assist features you can really dial in. So it's one of the most powerful monitors right now. It does have a lower resolution and it costs more than the rest of these options, but it really comes together nicely as a monitor. Next up we have the Andy A6, and this one essentially is perfect for those who want the SmallHD Focus but can't afford it. Or if you already have a SmallHD Focus and you want just a second monitor for a B cam, would be a good option as well. It also powers the camera, which is great, but the build quality is really lacking and it's just not even on the same planet as the SmallHD Focus. But still a good option, and $180. It's ridiculous, the cheapest option here. The next monitor to consider is this guy, the Sokani. What's interesting about this is it carries some of the features from a SmallHD Focus, that being touchscreen, being able to pinch. It has some great assist features, decent size, higher resolution, with HDMI in and out. Build quality is all right. It's probably second best out of all of these. So a good option, and I really dig this thing. I'm using it more and more. And finally, we have the Feelworld F570. This thing is just a decent all-around monitor with a metal build. And I've been using that a lot with the A7 III, which I can't use the dummy battery because in the battery system at any rate, it's a great high quality build. It's very similar to the A6 from Andycine. So if you like the idea of that panel, but you don't need to power your camera externally, this would be a good option. Slightly better build quality, slightly different list of features. So hopefully all of that information has been helpful to you guys. We've got a broad range of pricing here, broad range of features. Any single one of these monitors is going to work great with pretty much every camera out there. So really it comes down to taste and which one you think is going to perfectly fit your needs. And you can always watch other videos here at DSLR Video Shooter if monitors aren't your thing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.